Welcome to MuggleCast, your weekly ride into the Wizarding World fandom. I'm Andrew, your troll in the dungeon.
I'm Eric, the ghostest with the mostest.
I'm Micah, your poltergeist.
Oh man, I didn't think about this, and now I'm really nervous. I feel like I'm caught with egg on my face. I'm Laura, your true crime aficionado. One of these things is not like the other.
Your egg on your face. This week, we are hosting a Halloween-themed episode to celebrate the upcoming holiday, and we'll get to that in a few minutes. But first, we have a couple of Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore updates. So last week, Deadline reported a couple more details about the film because a little preview was shown over in Spain at some movie event. Deadline reported on a behind-the-scenes look that showed new looks at Mads Mikkelsen as Grindelwald. Now, Deadline says the story picks up in the 1930s, a little after the events of the previous film, and it will take place in such far-flung locales as Bhutan, Germany, the US, the UK, and China. Now, what city is missing from that list?
Yeah.
Rio de Janeiro.
Ixnay on Rio, eh?
No.
Looks like they did scrap it after
This
all.
means that I can no longer set anything in store by that one tweet that was made 5 years ago in the different languages talking about...
Report the tweet for false information.
That's right. I'm going to do that
Do
now.
you think, though, this is why there were additional delays? Because maybe they had to scrap what their initial plans were if they were going to Rio.
Oh.
And maybe they fast-tracked some of the plot, too. Maybe we were supposed to go to these places further down the line, and they brought them into the third film.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. And also remember, we spoke about the screenwriting credits on this movie. It looks like Rowling had an idea, had the script done. It was basically thrown out, and Rowling and Steve Kloves, who wrote 7 of the 8 Harry Potter movies, started again and just based their new version off of the original that Rowling wrote.
Right.
So
because this one's based on a story originally conceived by Joe or something like that.
Yeah, based on a screenplay by her. Not even a story, a screenplay.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to say, I was fully expecting that we would go to Germany eventually in this franchise just because of Nurmengard, but I figured something like that would come a little bit later. So this is interesting. I'm not going to speculate beyond that.
Well, here's another Secrets of Dumbledore development. So there was a test screening of the whole movie, in LA this past week. And I know somebody who went to it. And they had to sign an NDA, of course, so they can't come on the show and talk about it. Otherwise, Warner Brothers will sue them to hell.
But you can.
However, but I can take all the info and share it. No, so I will. I'm completely honest when I say he did not share any spoilers with me. And
Or she.
I don't even want to know spoilers. He or she or they, whoever, did not share any spoilers with me, and I purposely did not want that anyway because it ruins being able to speculate on the show.
It's very difficult to do that. Yeah, but however.
Yes. However, big however, he did give, whoever, did give me a big tidbit to share. I was authorized to share this. We all remember that with the last movie, much was made of comments from David Yates, who said Fantastic Beasts 2 was not explicitly gay. We all remember those comments?
Yes.
It's not explicitly gay.
Mm-hmm.
This movie, Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore, is explicitly gay.
Yay!
Like gay all over. Like, there's not just a scene. It's everywhere. You can't even just pull a scene out and suddenly it's not explicitly gay. It's very gay.
Good.
Wow. The Secrets of Gay Dumbledore. I guess those are going to be the secrets, at least some of them. So I was pleasantly surprised. You know, this has been a long time coming. I trust this person 100%. They wouldn't mess with me.
Let's do trends next. Let's do that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't see the creator of this franchise going there. So
No. Darn.
Yeah. But so that's what we can share for now. Maybe the trailer will confirm this. I bet it will. if it's very gay throughout the movie, I feel like you have to touch on that. I'm also going to be very interested to see, and I said this to this person, what about some of the international markets? Like, are they just not going to release this film because it is too gay? And he's like, he, she, or they, of course, is like, you can't even, you couldn't just cut a scene or two out. It's not possible. There wouldn't be a movie.
Well, even looking at some of the places that we're going in this movie, China comes to mind, especially with you talking about how certain markets may receive this film if in fact the explicitly gay piece is true. And as you said, there's no reason to believe that it isn't.
Right. Yeah. So it's probably going to be frustrating to see some of these countries decide not to show the movie. Maybe they'll change their minds. I don't know. But yeah.
So I have a question,
so that's
though.
the tidbit.
Great that the movie is explicitly gay. However, did this unnamed person enjoy the film?
I don't want to give out any more than they said I could.
Okay.
But yes,
Okay.
they enjoyed it. I'll just leave it at that. They did like the movie. I think overall they were happy.
This means that it exists. The movie exists in some form. I think this is confirmation.
It is real. It is real for sure.
One question I did have, though, is because I think, Andrew, Eric, you both have been to test screenings of Potter films previously. How much can actually change between the test screening and what ends up in theaters?
It's a good question. Then very valid. I mean, you could still put scenes back in. You could make things clearer if the material has been shot. I don't think they're really going to bring people back for reshoots unless everyone in the audience is like, this does not make any sense. You need to like explain this better. And they don't have like material or a way of doing that. I would say based on what I saw, I mean, whenever we went to preview screenings of Harry Potter, like the effects weren't finished yet and things like that. So they're still working on that. But yeah, I mean, the editing, they can make certain shots longer or choose different camera angles, but that's about it. Maybe they put back dialogue that was taken out, something like that.
I had said to him,
Why don't you just say their name? Why don't you just...
I don't know why I'm so bad at disguising the gender.
Bob.
So Bob said to me...
There you go.
Wait, Bob Fail?
I said, our old friend Bob Fail. I said to Bob, well, who knows? Maybe by the time the movie actually comes out, all the gay stuff will be cut out. And I was like kind of joking. And that's when Bob said they couldn't do that because there's just so much of it.
Wow.
So there's no way.
Yeah, that's impressive.
I have, Eric, I think I went to one Harry Potter test screening with you in Chicago. It may have been the final movie.
I think that's right.
We got to the scene where we see Snape, dying and the tear rolls down his face. But the fake tear hadn't been created yet. So there's just a caption that says, like, tear rolls down Snape's face.
The most unintentionally humorous moment in any of the screening. But that's why they do these. They want audience feedback. They really do strive to make those types of corrections. See where fans are laughing.
Right. Well, and like, I remember David Heyman and Yates were at the test screening we went to.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were at this one in LA, but they go to these to really be with the audience and see if they can feel what they're feeling and watch what they're experiencing.
I'm interested, though, too, with these locations that we've been given. I think we probably at some point should take a look at what beasts are in Fantastic Beasts and where to find them in some of these countries. And I'm wondering, too, just given with Bhutan that we're maybe going into Nagini's home country, potentially. I don't know exactly where she's from, if it's been said, but I would think that she's from Southeast Asia, so perhaps that plays a role in some capacity in this film.
Good guess, for sure.
Yeah.
That would be a great episode. We should definitely do that, Micah.
Although we always run the risk of them just creating more beasts that weren't in the book, because she's done that a couple of times.
And
right.
I'm curious too, Laura, though, do you think the China piece of this is more from a government standpoint than from maybe a beast or a character storyline? Like with what's going on in terms of the access, and I know they weren't necessarily really a part of it, but do we think that could play a role.
You mean like sucking up to China?
No.
Yeah. Is that what you're asking?
I've been thinking like communism or is that too much to bring into this movie?
Oh, interesting.
Oh, so you're talking about the historical reference
Yeah.
for geopolitical conflict at the time. I guess I haven't thought about it because so much of Wizarding World history, especially for this time period, is tied to like a Eurocentric view of World War II. But obviously there were other things happening in other parts of the world at that time. So it's possible. I feel like the sky is kind of the limit, although I don't know how much time they would have to dig into all of that and do it well. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just thinking
We're
about how
simplifying
much
things with
is
this
going to be
movie.
in this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm reading a bunch of things in the Discord as well in terms of where Nagini is supposedly from. Zion said Indonesia. Somebody said India. We have to check and see 100%.
All right. Well, before we get to our Halloween discussion, first, this week's episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. Taking care of your mental health is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. And if you think there's something interfering with your happiness or is preventing you from moving forward in your life, check out BetterHelp. They will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist who you can work with via voice, video, or text chat. BetterHelp lets you easily and quickly get started with therapy right from wherever you are right now. Within 48 hours, you can start speaking with a therapist, and the service is available for clients worldwide. Whether you're at home, at work, on the go, trick-or-treating, waiting for a movie to start, you can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. It's not a crisis line, it's not self-help, it is professional therapy done securely online. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses, plus you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions with your therapist. Personally, I use the real-time text chat feature where you can sit down virtually with your therapist and type messages which are displayed in real time. BetterHelp is more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available. BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change therapists if needed, which is very helpful because it's said a lot that therapy is actually a lot like dating. You have to try a couple therapists before you find the right match, so you can easily switch therapists with BetterHelp. I want you to try BetterHelp, and we have a special offer for MuggleCast listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/MuggleCast. Again, get 10% off at betterhelp.com/MuggleCast today. All right, time for our Halloween extravaganza. And we have a couple of different discussion topics today. We're going to invent our own Wizarding World candies. We are going to discuss what kind of candy certain Wizarding World characters would give trick-or-treaters. We're going to guess what characters would go as for Halloween. And then we got a couple other segments
It's a fun episode.
prepared.
Yeah.
It's laid back. It's laid back.
You know, by
Things
the
are
way,
good.
do we want to do a prophecy about Halloween? Because I was just thinking, like,
Another prophecy?
Let me get the Nostradamus.
that was great, Eric. I think I said to Andrew, I was listening to last week's episode and I totally forgot that I had recorded the prophecy to open the episode.
Oh, yeah. Sounded
Man, I'm
great.
sure we confused a lot of people with the opening of that episode.
It gets you intrigued.
It
People
does.
are like, what is Micah talking about?
All right.
I have to listen.
We'll do a quick one. Give me a number.
7.
Okay. 7. Good number. The arrival's late. The execution's done.
Perfect.
Yeah. The wind contrary. The letters seized en route. The conspirators, 14 of a sect. By Rousseau shall their enterprises be approved. Okay.
All right. Helpful. So
That's really totally got us knowing everything about this episode.
So has anybody here ever dressed up as a Harry Potter character
Never.
for Halloween?
Yep.
Not once. Wait,
Not
for
you,
Halloween?
cosplayer?
For Halloween? Okay.
For
yeah.
Halloween specifically.
Well, yes. Actually, yes. Yes, I have.
What'd you go as?
Well, so I've had these Gryffindor robes since 2004 from Twin Roses Designs, and I didn't want to just wear them because I thought that was like an easy out. So I came up with a cool idea. It was 2009, so I've had them for about 5 years. And I was like, ooh, what if I go as like specifically not just like a generic Gryffindor, but a Gryffindor character? Who should I go as? So I went to a Halloween store and I posted a picture in the show doc, and I got one of those werewolf masks and also the gloves to slide on, and then wore the Gryffindor robes, and I was Remus Lupin.
That's awesome.
But
This is
I
great.
thought that was really, really a cool like way of doing it. And I was on just walked around like a college campus and got like trick or treats from fellow like college people. But the one thing I will say is the mask isn't, you can kind of tell the mask isn't fully opened. It kind of kept like wanting to fold closed on itself. So the eyes never quite lined up. So they're very messed up, and it was actually pretty uncomfortable to wear. And I went to some kind of basement or something to get the wolf mask. But yeah, I still have it somewhere. But that was my Remus Lupin.
We'll post this on our social media.
Yeah.
I love it.
Laura, you did as well?
Yeah. First, I wanted to say, Eric, I'm just imagining you, because you couldn't see in this mask. I'm imagining you just like blindly walking around and like bumping into things and people. My story is not nearly as fun as Eric's. So I did dress up as a generic Hogwarts student, not anyone in particular. I actually had dressed up as a Grim Reaper a couple of years before this, so I still had the robes from that. So I just took the hood off of it and used the robes as my Hogwarts robes. I printed out like a Ravenclaw badge and taped it
Yes.
to the robes.
Oh, you went as Ravenclaw. I respect that.
Yep.
So I used to work in my TV tech studio in high school, and I hosted the morning show program that we did a few times. I wish I did it more in hindsight, but I hosted the Halloween episode one year, and I dressed up as Harry Potter. And the video of this is actually still online. We should include
I've seen that
link in the show notes.
Andrew, you're adorable.
Oh, thank you. You know what? I look at myself in that video and I'm like, I look exactly the same. I look exactly the same. It's really funny because I say, I'm Harry Potter, otherwise known as Andrew Sims. And then my co-host said, right, same thing, which I think was pretty spot on now more than ever. But so I was Harry Potter one year, and then another year, I'm really proud of this, and this was only 4 years ago, I was a Hogwarts hat stall. And I thought this was clever because, like, you don't really see people try to do something like this. Basically, I was wearing, like, one piece of Gryffindor clothing, one piece of Ravenclaw, one piece of Slytherin. And my story was the Sorting Hat couldn't decide where to put me. So I'm just a hat stall, and I'm trying all four. And actually, by the way, that was an important night in MuggleCast history, because that's when somebody said to me, you know, Hogwarts is a security nightmare. We've been talking about it on the show ever since. Yeah.
You need to get that person on the show.
I know. If I could only remember who it was at that party, maybe I would. Now, Micah, I don't see any notes here from you. Have you never dressed up as a Harry Potter character?
Oh, I definitely have. Dolores
That was
Umbridge.
not convincing for some reason.
You went as Umbridge. I don't
can't
remember
see
that
that?
ever happening.
Well, just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Micah,
Something tells me you would tell us.
Did
you have
you,
17 days to get a Harry Potter costume together,
There you
buddy.
go. Did you practice your hem hem?
Yeah, it's more like a.
Okay.
Okay, now I'm convinced he did it.
Yeah.
'Cause that was
Yeah.
really good.
No, actually, I never have. I do have the Sorting Hat, though. I think I've worn it. Was it during Quizzitch one time, maybe?
Oh, probably.
But no, I've never dressed up as a Harry Potter character. I'll take suggestions, and we don't need to go the Aberforth route. Although I do have plenty of stuffed goats I've been sent over the course of MuggleCast that I can carry
Including
around with
screaming
me.
ones that scream. Isn't
Oh
that
yeah,
right,
where
Micah?
is that thing?
Be Southern Hagrid.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
good
that's
one.
good.
Oh.
And
I love
let me
that.
ask, what besides dressing up as Hagrid would lend him to be Southern Hagrid?
So
A
definitely
6-pack.
Flannel and camouflage, flannel and or camouflage.
Oh, I like this.
6-pack, definitely.
Some brisket.
Baseball cap.
Ooh. Yeah.
You can make it work.
Do you want to be a Hogwarts student who owns a vibrating broomstick? I can help you out.
Are you
No,
selling, Andrew?
I think I'll pass.
Just lending.
Lending.
I was going to say, did it not meet your expectations?
All right. Well, we thought since there are so many creative treats in the wizarding world, in the spirit of Halloween and, of course, candy, why don't we invent our own wizarding world candy and try to be creative? So I came up with one. I'm calling it the Trolley Lady's anti-anxiety and CBD-infused treacle treat of Titanic taste.
Oh.
So here's the pitch. Start your year at Hogwarts off right. Exclusively available from the sometimes spooky, sometimes kind Trolley Lady, this candy, which tastes like a fresh breeze along your favorite lake, is guaranteed to reduce your anxiety by 85%. The candy reduces anxiety for a full month, so be sure to buy a 9-pack to get through your latest year at Hogwarts with very little anxiety. We could have reduced your anxiety by 100%, but why would we want to make your life that much better? A little anxiety can help build some character.
Wow.
I love this. I need this in my life.
Yeah.
Just for life.
Same. And I like CBD oils, so I thought maybe we can get CBD into the wizarding world. They've really taken off here in America. You can buy them in all 50 states. Buy it in all 50 states.
I love that you're kind of, this is good for 9 months out of the year when you're at Hogwarts. So for the summer vacation, you're just on your own.
Yeah, well, it's exclusively available from the Trolley Lady. So when you're on the Hogwarts Express, you buy a 9-pack and you're good for the season. That's the genius of it. That's why the Trolley Lady is so successful when it comes to this business, because people can only get it from her, and it's only for Hogwarts students. Of course, there's a black market where some students buy additional packs, but the Trolley Lady has tried to crack down on the black market by offering only one 9-pack per student, but she's still working on that.
Treacle. That's real cool.
Yes. Eric, what's yours?
Yes, so I would like to introduce the world to my magical treat, the Warlock Spieler's No Coconut Assorted Chocolates. And not only would this delicious box of assorted chocolates not contain any coconut flavoring, but a patented charm would actually create an anti-coconut force field, which would disappear any coconut flavoring nearby. Eat your Halloween candies with confidence with Warlock Spieler's No Coconut Assorted Chocolates. And what's it taste like? Not coconut. That's for sure. I myself am not a fan of coconut flavoring, and anytime I get a box of chocolates, it just ruins my day. So
I was so with you. I hate coconut too.
Thank you. I was thinking of this because I was thinking of Fred and George's disappearing hats, where they extended the invisibility charm on the hat to extend past the brim so it looked like they were headless. That was Fred and George, right? Anyway, so I thought of extending this coconut protection beyond the candy itself. And I thought, wow, now I can actually enjoy every flavor beans too, because if I had my coconut or no coconut assorted chocolates, I could make sure I didn't get a coconut every flavor bean as well.
Right.
Wow. Well, Eric, what I'm hearing from this is that you would like me to send you a lifetime supply of Almond Joys. Got it. For anyone not familiar, I'm not sure where all these exist, but in the United States, Almond Joys are a candy that's a chocolate-covered coconut.
Yeah.
I mean, Meg's a big fan of coconuts, so she'll just have them.
Oh, well, there we go.
It'd be very kind
Opposites
of you.
attract. There we go.
While we're on the subject of coconut water, I tried it once thinking it would be refreshing and delightful.
Yes, same.
Oh, so disgusting.
I'm
sorry to all the coconut
I thought it would be like cucumber water, because cucumber water is delicious.
Yes.
Have y'all ever had actual fresh coconut water from a fresh coconut?
Yeah. Equally disgusting.
Really? Man,
I may have.
I love it.
I was so disappointed. I'll try again. Take me to your favorite coconut.
We got to go to Costa Rica for that.
Costa Rica.
Coconut. Laura will just take you there and point at it and go, that's my favorite.
Maybe if it was watered down more, but the taste is surprisingly strong.
Yeah, well, artificial coconut flavoring is even worse than actual coconut for me.
All right, Micah, what you got for us?
So I went with Creepies cavity canceling chocolate. So this chocolate is charmed to taste like your favorite chocolate treat, This piece of candy not only fixes your candy crave, it leaves your mouth feeling nice and clean. So what does it taste like? Your favorite chocolate, followed by a splash of mint. And so the whole kind of thought here is, what do we always hear about around Halloween time or any holiday, but we're talking about Halloween. Oh, you're going to get cavities. It's going to rot out your teeth if you eat too much candy. Well, not if you get it from Creepies, because you have all that chocolate left in your mouth, maybe like Reese's Pieces, and it's like you can't get it out of your teeth. It's totally fine. 5 seconds after, it just disappears and your mouth tastes like mint. You're not going to get any cavities at all.
Wow. I love it.
I love it
Such
too.
a good use of magic.
I feel like this would be Granger approved, would it not?
I was going to say Hermione's parents would love this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not sure what Creevy invented it, because I don't
one
think
of them died.
Oh, didn't both of them, or just one of them?
I thought it was Dennis for sure.
Anyway, it's
yeah.
fine.
So from beyond the grave, ooh.
Colin died during the Battle of Hogwarts.
Right.
I thought it was Dennis.
All right. Well, I went I went with Newt's Nougat Delights. Here's my pitch for it. Brittle on the outside, chewy on the inside, and contains a light charm to help you find joy in the small things. Like, does your pet Niffler keep squirreling your last galleon away? You'll find it charming instead of extremely annoying. And it tastes like honey, roasted nuts, and chopped fruit.
Ooh, salty and sweet.
Seems like something Newt would like.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's like a granola hippie,
Laura, have you ever considered a career in writing about sweets? Because I think that this just really is it's almost romantic, the way that you find joy in the small things. I don't know.
I mean, that could be a dream job. Let me know if you hear of somebody who needs a sweet copywriter.
I want to try this. I want to try yours most of all of ours.
Okay, so let's talk about what kind of candy certain Wizarding World characters would give trick-or-treaters, because as we all know, each character in the Wizarding World has a very unique personality, and thus they might be offering different candies, or maybe none at all, or something very different to trick-or-treaters. Who came up with this? And do you want to just lead us through it?
I think I wrote a short list of different characters, but I don't know whose idea it was to start with Severus Snape.
I think that was me. First of all, I don't think Snape would give out candy. I'm not even sure if he would give out anything. His house would be the one with the lights out, and you get a little close, you're like, should we knock? Maybe we shouldn't. I don't know. And then, you look up, and from the second story, you can see him looking down.
I hate Halloween.
Well, let's not forget, Halloween is kind of a triggering holiday for Snape.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. That
That's
is
a
fair.
great point.
He's in
Yeah.
mourning.
Do you think, to play pranks on Snape, the kids in the neighborhood would put lilies on his front lawn?
Oh, that's awful. That's
Wow.
really bad.
Wow.
I mean, I tend to think of the thought that occurred to me was that Halloween, of course, is a holiday that's spent at Hogwarts. So we wouldn't be on Spinner's End, although Halloween on a place called Spinner's End is probably the coolest celebration of the year. But at Hogwarts, I just assumed Snape would give everybody poison and an assorted, they'd have to either brew the antidote in an X amount of time. What he did with Trevor, right? Where he gave Trevor a shrinking or swelling solution or something, and it just nearly destroyed him. And Snape was trying to make a point about how Neville's a bad student. Just like that. That would be sort of his approach to trick-or-treat candy.
I thought you were going to say he's going to hand out poison and then be like, give this to the person you hate the most.
Maybe to the Slytherins. Maybe that's what it would be. The Slytherins wouldn't actually be poisoned, but everybody else's would be.
I'm sorry, Andrew. When did Snape start sounding like Squidward?
You just did a nerdy sounding voice too, didn't you?
I did, for sure.
Oh, Eric. Maybe it was Eric.
Mine was more, I was going for Potter Puppet Pals. Oh, what is that mysterious ticking?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's what I was going for. SpongeBob.
Yeah.
Turn to page 394.
You're right. There is a Squidward likeness.
Oh, man.
I don't know, for Snape. I think he'd be kind of mopey on this day. It's a reminder every year of his failure to save Lily.
Yeah.
And I think that if he were going to go the extra mile and dress up, I think he would dress up as Squidward. I'm really digging this
kind of see it.
Aesthetic. I like it.
Squidward.
Jewel is going to hate me for this because she's going to feel compelled to make some kind of graphic for social.
Just put Squidward's nose on Snape. I think that's all you need to do. It'll look perfect. All right, how about Molly Weasley? Now, the Burrow's probably open for trick-or-treaters.
Definitely. Absolutely.
They might not get many.
Molly will handcraft her famous Mrs. Weasley fudge, and she'll hand out full tins of it to every trick-or-treater who comes.
Oh, yeah. So she's baking her own treats.
Yep.
Definitely.
I love that. Now, parents would probably tell us, you shouldn't eat those. Those were homemade. We can't trust them. But everybody probably knows Molly. They trust her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see maybe Fred and George like slipping a couple of their pranks
100%.
into
But Molly
the...
would kill them. Literally kill them.
That's true.
That's part of the fun.
Well, she only has to worry about one.
Wow. Maybe
Are
they
we
could,
talking?
maybe they could join forces and for one night a year actually come up with a really good thing. I'm thinking like a whole meal in a pill or something like that, you know, where it's like a whole home cooked meal, like a feast basically.
Yeah.
In candy
One
form.
of those meal kits you get delivered.
Yeah, but like
our
solidified
sponsors.
to a little candy, a little gummy.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's like, oh, it's this beautiful feast.
All right, this next one I didn't write in, I don't think.
Ah, well, down the street from Molly, of course, if we're talking about Ottery St. Catchpole trick-or-treaters night, you got to go across the hill to Xenophilius Lovegood's house. What would Mr. Lovegood be giving to trick-or-treaters? And would they have any say in the matter whatsoever?
Any say in the
Yeah, like I pictured something like homemade fudge, and you know how fudge is like they wrap it in that like special like newsprint paper. I was thinking maybe pages of the Quibbler that he'd take with like or candy wrapped in pages of the Quibbler, and so he'd be like promoting his publication while at the same time giving out candy that you've never heard of. So maybe not fudge.
I was thinking maybe sugar quills, kind of along the line of what you were saying with him being in the newspaper business. It kind of fits with his profession.
I like that.
Or he's just giving out copies of the Quibbler.
Yeah, maybe with fun, like a
Edible?
Halloween crossword. Edible Quibbler. That would be interesting.
I feel like Xenophilius, I'm thinking of in book 7 when the trio goes to visit him and he makes them that terrible, very bizarre tasting tea. I'm imagining him coming up with his own sweet creation, and I'm doing air quotes for that because I have a feeling it would land very similarly to how that tea landed with the trio. Like people would try it and be like, "Oh, what is this?"
Yeah.
I just
They also have... Oh, sorry, Eric. Go ahead.
all I can think of is Riz Ifans in, was it Notting Hill, where they said there's something wrong with this yogurt. Because it's mayonnaise. Anyway.
Don't the Lovegoods also have dirigible plums in their front garden?
Oh, yeah. Make use of the dirigible plums.
All right, how about Mad-Eye Moody? I wanted to include him just because he's a little out there. And I can't really see him connecting with kids and handing out candy.
No, what you said about Snape's house where the lights are off and like he wouldn't come out for anybody, that would totally be Mad-Eye Moody as well. Like total recluse. People would actually dare each other to ding dong ditch Mad-Eye Moody's house on Halloween.
Right.
And I would not take that dare.
No.
I see it too as like he probably has traps set up going to his front door.
Oh my gosh. Now,
He's super paranoid.
This all said, there are candy eyeballs. In 1 year, he really should just have a bowl of eyeballs for people to pull from.
I love
And one of them is his real magical eye.
Yeah. See,
Bonus.
I could see him wanting to prank people like that.
Yeah. How about McGonagall? Her lights would be on.
She would have, I'm just going to go with the obvious. She would have biscuits.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Happy
Good
Halloween,
reference.
have a biscuit.
I see her being very conservative with the dispersal. Like, you get one biscuit. None of this diving your hand into the tin and grabbing a handful. It's one. And if she sees you trying to take more than one, she's going to like hex your hand or something.
Yeah. Or she'll transfigure it to coal.
There we go. Yep.
I could see her doing chocolate frog cards, or just, chocolate frogs.
Oh, chocolate frogs. That would be so fun. Now I want to go to the theme park and buy a ton and hand those out. That'd be...
Just go to the Harry Potter store in New York. I think they're on discount there.
Oh, yeah. Have an expired chocolate frog, everybody. Your parents won't be bad at this. What's the update on that?
If a listener has gone to the HP NY store and you happen to notice the chocolate frog dates, please let us know if they're still out of date and very affordable.
Arabella Fig. What would she do? Fig Newtons.
First of all,
catnip.
Yeah. I was going to say straight up like catnip, no explanation. Kids are going to come away just like getting sick because they've eaten it. I think, though, she would be the kind, you know how businesses have like a dog bowl outside of their shop with like treats in it? She would definitely have like, if she were giving out regular candy to muggles, she would have something for the cats as well.
I think that's a good call.
Eric, your boy, Sirius Black.
Yeah, if Sirius Black had been allowed to live and he were able to celebrate trick-or-treat, say Grimmauld Place is back on the map, or for one night only, the charm is like undone, and muggles are like, what? There's this house here? And it's all decked out, and it's super spooky and shit. And he comes out as like, just like, I don't know, a vampire or something. What would he be giving people? I can't even think about it. But something pretty cool. He would be the coolest.
He would be the cool guy who buys the king size version of everything and gives everybody a ton of candy.
You're right.
The best candy, the most expensive stuff. He would be like the cool rich neighbor that everybody wants to go to, that lines up in front of because they want the king size candy bars.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Oh, I love that so much.
Y'all, I'm very proud to say I went to Costco today and I did buy the full-size candy bars for the kids. Not king size, but full size. So I feel like kids are gonna love me. I'm going to be the Sirius Black of the hood.
Is this like bed sizing now where there's full king, queen, twin?
I don't...
What's the difference? Is full size even more?
Well, full size is a standard one that you'd see at like the checkout aisle when you're buying a single one.
Yeah,
you know?
Respect. Okay, because they do minimize. They make them so small now for trick-or-treaters.
Right, yeah. But those aren't the cool houses. My house is the cool house this year. Okay, and then finally, Remus Lupin.
Chocolate. It's got to be something chocolate, right?
Just chocolate.
Have
an assortment of chocolate.
Just
it would be one of those variety packs for sure.
Save a bar, kid, in case you ever meet a Dementor.
Oh gosh, that's so good. I think this was another idea that we were kicking around when we were talking about doing a Halloween theme, and I quite like it. We have 5 characters we're going to talk about. Feel free to bring up more, but we each kind of decided what a Harry Potter character, including Harry himself, would go as for Halloween. What character we think that they would, what we think they would crush it as.
Crush it.
Starting with Harry Potter, I kind of went for the low-hanging fruit here because we've already seen him in costume as this character. I think Harry Potter would go as Neville Longbottom. He fooled Stan Shunpike. I mean...
And it'd be funny because he could be like, oh, look, I'm the other chosen one now.
Yeah. That would be a fun thing to go back to. But you guys had much more inventive ones for Harry.
I also see Harry going, oh, I'll fight you. I think Harry would go as his dad one year to mess with Snape and really piss Snape off. And it wouldn't be a lot of work for Harry because obviously he looks similar. So he'd have to maybe, put in some contacts to change the color of his eyes, just like Dan Radcliffe was supposed to do and never did. And, he could maybe tousle the hair, hide the scar. I think they had similar glasses, at least in the movie it looked that way.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I just feel like that would be great. And then, Harry can just pass Snape in the hall and not say anything and see if Snape catches on. I would love to be a fly on the wall of that hallway.
So I'm imagining an alternate reality where the trio is dressing up for Halloween in book 6 prior to the ending of the book. And Harry is just so obsessed with the Half-Blood Prince that he decides he is going to dress up as the Half-Blood Prince. And Hermione's just side-eyeing him the whole time, being like, you idiot.
Would Harry do it like as if it were royalty, and Hermione would just be like, there's no princes? Da, 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 da.
I think that he would envision himself as a Half-Blood Prince. So yeah, I think that he would do something maybe a little regal to try and embody that spirit. He might carry around his copy of Advanced Potion Making so that he can say, I am the Half-Blood Prince.
I love it.
I went with Napoleon Dynamite. I went outside of the Harry Potter universe. I think Harry would do a great job as Napoleon. I went for another kind of nerdy character who wears glasses, but I just think that Harry could pull this off. It doesn't require a whole lot of like animation or anything. Like he can just kind of like withdraw within himself. And
he could ask people to pass them as tots and tell everyone to vote for Pedro. Those are the two things I remember from that movie because it's been forever. But I think it's spot on. I think it's very good.
I like that. Okay, how about Hermione? Eric, what'd you come up with?
I kind of went for classic horror movie trope here, Bride of Frankenstein. You know, she's got the bushy hair. She wouldn't need to do much to it. Tease it, maybe blow it out, put a little white streak in it, and boom, there you go.
I like it because of a word you said, classic. I feel like she would go for a classic Halloween character. That seems very Hermione by the book.
Well, speaking of books and classics, I said Daisy Buchanan from The Great Gatsby. I feel like Hermione is just so literary, well-read, well-studied that this would be an easy thing for her to accomplish. Plus, we know that she is quite adept at making herself prepared for big fancy events like the Yule Ball. So I think she could pull this off.
I like that a lot.
Just thinking through this now, I'm surprised nobody went with the easy choice of Belle from Beauty and the Beast.
I have a related one.
Oh, okay. I went with Amy, played by Mayim Bialik from The Big Bang Theory. Sheldon's, or I can say she's Sheldon's girlfriend in the show. I don't know. I think they have a lot in common. So I don't think it would be too much of a stretch for her to play her during Halloween, dress up as her during Halloween.
I like that a lot. I'd like to see everybody do like a Big Bang Theory crossover. That would be kind of cool.
And Micah mentions Belle. Well, I thought Hermione in her 4th year at Hogwarts could go as Cogsworth, the clock from Beauty and the Beast. And everybody would look and just be like, oh, I get it. You're a clock because you had a time turner last year.
I like that.
Okay. I wasn't feeling too confident, but I like y'all's reactions.
Some good thought to it.
Okay. I Googled famous clocks because I wanted to see if I could figure out something better than Cogsworth, and couldn't really find anything.
Get the lead singer of Coldplay, right?
Yeah, but I wanted like a one that's personified. What's that called when like an inanimate object can talk?
Like anthropomorphized or something?
That thing. Yeah. Like the Loki clock. The clock in Loki. The Disney Plus
right.
series.
Miss Minutes.
Miss Minute.
She should go as Miss Minutes.
Miss Minutes.
I want to go as Miss Minutes.
Hey, y'all.
Miss Minute was super cool.
I know. I'll do the hey, y'all, and scare everybody.
Oh, yeah. Right out of nowhere. Oh,
yep.
Well, we did the other members of the trio, so why not Ron Weasley? I am proud of this one that I came up with. I think he would fool everybody. Nobody would suspect that Ron Weasley would dress up as a Tuttle Tornadoes fan or a super fan for the Tornadoes. He gave Cho all that crap for being a Tornadoes fan, accused her of being a bandwagoner. Well, I think that would just be a fun joke for him.
I like that.
I went with Carrot Top, fellow ginger.
The Vegas entertainer.
And a comedian. Like, Ron is funny.
I agree. Yeah.
And he could pull off Carrot Top. Bring his bag of tricks.
I thought Ron could go as a can of Hot Shot Spider and Scorpion Killer. Since he hates spiders so much, he could just be the thing that kills spiders.
Oh, I love that. What an inventive... Like, have you ever seen anybody at a party, Andrew, dress up as like an aerosol can of something?
Well, sometimes you see like a bottle of ketchup, you know, like people goes ketchup and mustard, like a couple's costume.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's kind of what this idea stemmed from.
I like it. I said Victor Crumb.
That's clever.
He admires him so much he wants to be just like Victor.
But he also like low-key hates Victor. So
yeah,
it's a love-hate relationship.
And Hermione will pay more attention to him now.
Ooh.
Okay, Dumbledore.
Gandalf.
Perfect.
Yeah, I feel like it's easy. He's already got the long beard and is a wizard and could fly and could, do anything he needs to do, ride an owl.
You know, it's funny, for those of you who have seen Ted Lasso, I don't know, do you all watch Ted Lasso?
I haven't yet.
Mm-mm.
I was watching the season finale, and Ted Lasso offers a Dumbledore quote, but he credits it to Gandalf and another fantasy character. And I was like, that is such a deep cut. Like, you only know who actually said that if you're a diehard Harry Potter fan, because he credits Gandalf.
Oh,
really funny.
That's funny.
I was impressed.
I said Dumbledore could go as Michael Gambon.
Now, explain the reasoning here. I'm curious.
Well, I thought Dumbledore could do his best Michael Gambon impression.
And what does that involve?
As a way to get back at Gambon?
I guess so. I mean, think about how often we critique Michael Gambon for his very animated portrayal of Dumbledore, particularly in Goblet of Fire in the film. So I can see Dumbledore attempting to recreate the Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? And see how it comes out. And then laughing it off and being like, wow, that was stupid.
Gosh.
I like the role reversal there. There's Dumbledore as Michael Gambon, not the other way around.
I decided to go, I was going to go with Merlin, but I felt like that was a little too easy. Just going with, especially with Gandalf already being on there. So I just decided to go with Fawkes. I could see him being a Phoenix.
Yeah. A lot of people suspected that Dumbledore might have been Fawkes or like an animagus of a Phoenix. Long before the Fantastic Beasts connection was made between Dumbledores and Phoenixes. So I like it.
People will be like, we know, you have a Phoenix.
A Phoenix always comes to a Dumbledore in need, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought Dumbledore, he's fun. He can be quirky. I think one year he would go as a lemon drop martini. Also kind of something a gay person would do, I think.
Those are good, by the way. The last
They're
time,
delicious.
Terrence and I always get lemon drop martinis whenever we're together.
Two Harry Potter friends drinking a Dumbledore classic. He's a lemon drop cocktail, and he's walking around with two lemon drop cocktails in both hands.
Double fisting.
What if he's dressed as Fawkes with two lemon drop martinis, one in each hand?
Wow.
I like it.
This is starting to remind me of the Dumbledore from Potter Puppet Pals, to be honest with you.
My Life as a Background Slytherin, if you've ever read those, and it's like the Dumbledore and McGonagall ones, they're so good.
All right, and finally, Hagrid. Of course, Hagrid would dress up. He's fun like that.
Yeah, I tried to pair something comically big with something comically small, so I went for Stuart Little.
I love that so much.
So
I don't know
cute.
what it looks like necessarily, but I would say that he'd get to wear like a cozy sweater and he'd have to be surrounded by much bigger things to sell it, right? Like the forced perspective of being a tiny mouse. So I thought that would be real fun.
I went with what I feel like was probably a bit of an obvious choice, but Santa.
I love this.
Yeah.
Hagrid is just an easy choice for dressing up as Santa.
More people should dress up as Santa for Halloween.
It is funny that you say this. Oh, first of all, yes, I agree with that, Andrew. But also, Micah, the book that I'm reading right now is called Santa Claus, The Last of the Wild Men. And it talks about sort of the origins of Santa Claus long before the actual Saint Nicholas, but going back to the wild man in pagan lore, like from like way back in the 8th century and even before. And so there is a connection between this wild, furry, man of the woods and the modern day Santa Claus. I think it's a much more apt comparison than you may have known.
Yeah, and I mean, if the centaurs are in a good mood, they could be his reindeer.
Boy. Oh,
Fang
boy.
could be Rudolph.
Maybe just the Thestrals. Maybe the Thestrals can be his reindeer.
Thestrals. Yeah, that's a much safer choice. That wouldn't
He
cause
could dress up as Krampus and then have the Thestrals as his reindeer. I think that would fit.
Yes.
There was a reason we didn't put him under the what candy would the people give out, because Hagrid's cooking is famously bad.
Right.
That would have been a fun one to think about, though.
Ruin Halloween.
Yeah, whatever he made would burn a hole through your trick-or-treat bag.
Oh, gosh.
So I thought Hagrid could go as Steve Irwin, the zoologist, for
Love
Halloween. Just because, he wants to pretend to be another person who loves creatures and beasts.
Yeah.
Man.
And he can say crikey a whole bunch.
Yeah.
We
yeah,
get
I
it,
know what
Hagrid. Thank you.
I know what Hagrid sounds like with a Southern American accent, thanks, Micah. But I'm wondering now what the Aussie, Hagrid would sound like.
Crikey! Crikey!
Crikey!
There you go.
I said he could go as Grop because I'm imagining this being Hagrid's one opportunity to indulge in as much mead as he wants and become essentially a belligerent toddler that other people have to take care of.
Oh.
So maybe he'll make Grop take care of him. It's a role reversal. He's like, listen,
Ooh.
Groppy, for one night out of the year, you're going to take care of me.
Or what if they did like a couple's costume where he was Grop and Grop was him? And they dressed
Oh.
Grop up like a professor, and then he's just a little bit more wild. That would be crazy.
That would be cute. Or they can go as like ketchup and mustard.
I'm in love with the whole dressing as bottles of condiments and things now. For the next fun segment, we thought we would involve our patrons, which I'm super happy with how this turned out.
Yeah, so we decided it would be fun to take a Halloween movie title and Potter-ize it. And I think, Eric, you probably came up with the best example, the example I shared over on Patreon, which is, I know what you did last summer at the Dursleys. I kind of made that sound a little dirty, but let's think of it as a scary movie.
I mean, where's the horror of it all? I know what you did last summer. But yeah, at the Dursleys. So our patrons really stepped it up. But first we had some other ones. I asked Meg, actually, who came up with some good ones. She came up with Night of the Living Fred.
Love it.
Well done.
Yeah,
Especially appropriate. Yeah.
Very funny. And paranormal activity. So I guess Ron terrorizing people in their sleep.
Ron is Carrot Top and terrorizing people.
Okay, if Carrot Top gained access to my bedroom when I was asleep, I would be terrified.
I find Carrot Top terrorizing, so...
He is very scary.
Yeah.
But Micah, you had two good ones here.
Yeah, so I went with Poltergeist, The Rise of Peeves. I feel like he needs his own movie.
That
He
could
does.
be...
Given that.
Yeah, that could be one day.
And
Yeah.
then The Haunting of Hogwarts,
Ooh.
which is a play off of The Haunting of Hill House.
Very good. Very
Love
good. I would
it.
watch that, especially if Mike Flanagan directed it.
I was going to say, speaking of Mike Flanagan, I went with Midnight Class.
I'm
Instead of Midnight
angry
Mass.
that I didn't think about this myself. That is so good.
It's well done.
Yeah. Have you guys watched that?
Such a
Oh.
yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing.
It's so good.
super creepy.
I'm not into horror movies, so I have nothing to contribute to this portion of the show.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
well, it's a TV show, and it's grounded in human emotion.
Uh-huh. Okay.
And maybe an indictment of organized religion. But maybe not.
Okay, I have one. You know the
Okay.
movie A Quiet Place?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this one's called A Quiet Place, but it's about the Hogwarts Library.
I love it. Yeah. Like aliens get out of the restricted section and people have to be quiet. Like Madame Pince enforces it. That'd be cool.
Uh-huh.
So Eric mentioned we also heard from our patrons, and they submitted some really great movie titles here. First up from Heather and Evelinda, A Nightmare on Privet Drive.
Ooh, based on a true story.
So good.
Yeah, it actually is, isn't it? It's called Harry Potter.
The villain in that would be Fred Lee Dursley. I don't know.
Sean McKee says Horcrux Pocus.
That's really clever. Yeah.
That is very clever.
That may be my favorite. We have to develop movie posters for this and post it on social. I'm giving more Jewel some more.
I know Jules is gonna love us after this episode.
Yeah. This.
It's just a little Horcrux Pocus.
Ashwini says Lily's baby instead of Rosemary's baby.
Classic horror. Classic.
Amanda said Night of the Living Dobby instead of Night of the Living Dead.
That's mean towards Dobby.
Oh.
Well, he doesn't know.
Oh.
Katie said, I see dead people in the mirror of Erised. That's really good.
That speaks to Harry's experience in a really good way.
And then finally we heard from Morgan, who says, Nya land. I don't know if anybody can do that better than me. I'm sure they can. But playing off of Voldemort's tendency to say that instead of La La Land.
Yeah. Andrew's got it. It was in the trailer, right? Where he's by the power lines after the Seven Partners. He's like,
there we go.
Yeah.
Zoom just noise canceled that noise you were making. It was like, what is this trash? I'm muting it.
That's okay. I'm pretty sure my audition did not.
Yes.
So
it'll come through for the listeners. Yeah.
Let's just pull the audio from the movie and use that.
Oh yeah, that works.
How's that?
You're right. That's smarter.
Next Halloween, we should look at horror movie titles and just speculate what the movie would be about if it were in the Wizarding World. So like The Invisible Man, what would that be about? Or
Neville.
Or It, Voldemort.
No, I like that because a lot of what makes that scary is the supernatural element. But when you have magic, it's like, does that make it scarier?
Yeah. And of course, there's a lot of scary things happening in Harry Potter, so we can just kind of connect the dots. Or like I said, with A Quiet Place being the Hogwarts library. Get out. Well, get out be the room of requirement when it's on fire. What we do in the shadows. Old. I mean, there's so much we could do here.
Yeah. There really is.
Underwater. Okay. All right. Well, that was fun. And thanks to the patrons for contributing to that as well. What a fun Halloween themed episode. If you have any feedback about any of this, you can contact us by writing or sending a voice message to mugglecast@gmail.com. If you are doing a voice message, just record a message using the voice memo app on your phone. You can also use the contact form on mugglecast.com, or you can leave a voicemail on our phone. The number is 1-920-3-MUGGLE. That's 1-920-368-4453. And coming up on next week's episode, we will have a special guest joining us. We're not going to reveal who yet, but look forward to that episode because it should be a good time.
It's somebody with an autobiography that's coming out on Amazon next week.
A friend of the show.
I figure we should give more detail just so people can prepare if they are astute.
Amazon and bookstores everywhere.
Oh, yes.
Don't want to give too much attention to Amazon.
No. The other companies that try real hard.
Especially your local bookstore.
Shop local, everybody.
And now I think it's real obvious.
No, we didn't give enough clues.
All right, it's time for Quizzage.
Last week's question was, what was Lita Lestrange's mother's name? And the correct answer, of course, was Lorena Kama. Correct answers were submitted by Buff Daddy, Hermione Granger, Hero to Millions, Corvus V's half-sister's half-brother Yusuf Kama, Proud Slytherin, Sassy Swaying Snape, Sir King of Kings, That One Long Bottom, Tuesday Adams, Wild Witch of Yorkshire, your fourth favorite Gryffindor, Yusuf the Despaired.
Oh, I didn't make the cut this week.
Were you, I'm going to take over the world, and the first thing I'm going to do is eliminate character limits and answer forms, so take that, Andrew?
No.
No, because that was too long to read on the show, I decided. Well, anyway, as always, because there are so many answers, I kind of summarize where I can and try and give a voice to various others.
I submitted as chameleon.
Oh,
All right,
are you
that's funny.
Culture Club? Because that was spot on. Anyway, next week's question. In keeping with the Halloween trick-or-treat theme, what sweet treat does Professor Flitwick give to Harry after his interview is published in The Quibbler? Submit your answer to us on the MuggleCast website using the form at mugglecast.com/Quizzitch.
Make sure you are following MuggleCast for free in your favorite podcast app so you never miss an episode, and leave us a review if they allow you to. We love reading the latest reviews that come in, so thanks everybody who takes a moment to do that. Also, don't forget to follow us on social media, especially this week, because we'll be posting some pictures of us in our Harry Potter costumes. Eric and I, namely, we're the only ones who took pictures. I'm still waiting for some proof, Micah. And Laura doesn't have a picture, unfortunately, but maybe next time. And look forward to those.
I love how you don't believe me, but you're like, oh, Laura doesn't have a picture.
Oh, she
like
wrote in the Google Doc
like,
she doesn't have a picture. So I...
Sure she doesn't.
And also stay tuned to our social media channels, because we will be probably posting some mock-ups of the things that we created today. And our username is MuggleCast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Don't forget my listener challenge through the end of the year. Please follow us on Instagram. We need followers there. Thank you. We appreciate it. And, of course, thank you for listening. I'm Andrew.
I'm Eric.
I'm Micah.
And I'm Laura.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.